So today we're actually going to be adding real horsepower with these Kooks long tube headers. These are bad to the bone. This is the Kooks 1 7/8 inch long tube headers, which is going to go through high flow race cats as well as a Y pipe. This thing is gnarly, bro. There we go. What's up, Team Lethal fans? Mustang King back in the house, and today we're next door at WBA Performance doing some more mods to the Team Lethal F-150 giveaway truck. Now, as you guys can see, there's something you might notice. It's a little bit different from the last time you saw the truck. We finally lethalized the F-150 giveaway truck with the Lethal Performance skull and crossbone design, as well as this badass Lethal F-150 design with the skull and crossbones on the side of the bed there. And it looks awesome. So now it definitely makes an extra 50 wheel horsepower. So today we're actually going to be adding real horsepower with these Kooks long tube headers. These are bad to the bone. This is the Kooks 1 7/8 inch long tube headers, which is going to go through high flow race cats as well as a Y pipe. This is made from T304 stainless steel mandrel bent, welded to perfection right here in the United States in North Carolina. This is actually the second exhaust modification we're doing to the Team Lethal F-150 giveaway truck. Last week we did the Corsa Extreme catback exhaust, and it sounds awesome. I can only imagine how it's going to sound with the long tube header setup. Now we know these long tube headers right here are going to help this engine flow more efficient. It's going to be a lot better for us when we're running that Whipple supercharger and pushing some boost through that engine, going to let it flow more freely and make some more horsepower. This long tube header setup from Kooks is also designed with the factory connection point, which means it's going to mate directly up to the Corsa Performance catback using the factory connection. There's going to be no cutting or welding needed to mate those two together. So I know we've got a long day ahead of us getting these headers on the vehicle, but I know Nick's going to do a phenomenal job. And guys, just so you know, how to enter the giveaway for the Team Lethal F-150 truck is to head on over to our website and purchase your parts, your accessories, and your Lethal swag, and every dollar gains you an entry. Now, with Kooks headers as well as Corsa Performance, that's a double brand right there. So every dollar that you spend, you're actually going to gain 2 entries. We're doing 2-time entries on all of the parts that are being involved in the build of this truck. So go ahead, pick up that Whipple supercharger, go ahead, get those Kooks headers, go ahead, get that Corsa exhaust, and earn yourself double entries to win this truck and $15,000 in cash. So without further ado, let's go, Nick. Get these headers on the truck. So while we were filming that intro just a second ago, Nick already started going on the install. He's going to remove the wheels from the truck as well as the fender liners. And as you guys can see, this is going to be a lot easier of an install. Hopefully, that's what they say. A lot easier than doing it on the Mustang where it's very tight. Since we have so much access to the factory manifold here with those wheel liners removed, I think it'll be a lot easier to remove the factory manifolds and hopefully give us a hand in installing the long tube headers. So we'll see how it goes. I'd say this is our third bod. We did the Corsa, we got the Lethal skull and crossbones and the tint, by the way. 50% on the windshield and 15% all the way around, so it's not like super dark, but down here in Florida, you can't be in a fishbowl, especially with all the sunlight and heat. So Chris Brooks, by the way, over at Kooks Tint and Wraps, he's done all the Lethal designs for us on our cars and trucks over the years. And it is my first time having tint the vehicle. I typically go somewhere else. But Chris is a world champion tinter and a great friend to the Team Lethal fam, so we had him do it, and it came out great. I like it. right, so I'm gonna give you my Kooks story, as these have come a very long way. Back when I first got into this industry in 2002 when I got my 03 Cobra, my first involvement with Kooks ever, dealings with them, was purchasing headers for my Cobra through JDM Engineering. Those are like the only guys that were like very popular in doing modifications on the Cobras and the Lightnings back then, and they had the Kooks headers for sale for my car. So I bought the headers. Those headers back in the day, for you guys out there that might remember, they were all individual primaries with a slip fit collector on it, where you'd slide those in and basically bolt the primary to the collector. There really wasn't much good sealing of them. I know people might have used some like RTV and stuff and like exhaust goop, whatever it was. But as you can see now, I mean, and for many years, Kooks has definitely improved their product. Those headers back then, I think they might have been mild steel with some coating on them. Now these are all T304 high quality stainless steel. You can see here the bends on them are really nice, and you can see that the collector is actually welded to the primaries. And again, it's been like this for a very long time. I'm just going back, showing you guys how long I've been around this industry. Lethal Performance, we're gonna be 20 years old, so I've been doing this longer than 20 years, and that was my first deal with Kooks, and I'm glad that they're an awesome partner of Lethal Performance. George, Georgia, the whole crew over there, Becky, those guys are awesome. I love seeing them, I love selling their product. They're great to deal with, and you know, that's why we run them on our lethal vehicles. Get this crap out. We don't want, Just messing with you guys. Get that crap off the truck. So Nick has the driver's side factory manifold off the car. We've got it on the ground next to the Kooks 1 7/8 inch long tube header. Take a look at the difference here, guys. I mean, first off, factory stuff, cast iron, basically rusted out. Look how short these primaries are. They're not even like, doesn't even look like individual primaries are so short. And obviously restrictive compared to this design right here. You know, major difference here. Individual long tube primaries, T304 stainless steel, high quality materials being used. This is going to create so much more flow than the factory manifold did, especially on a boosted application like we're doing with the Whipple supercharger. We want to be able for that air to get out of the engine efficiently, not create any back pressure and additional heat that we don't want. So obviously a major upgrade. This thing's going in the trash. That sucker's going on the truck. It's definitely going to make some good sounds to it, and we know it's going to help us make some more power. Over here, let's take a look. The difference between the factory one and the Kooks one, obviously noticeable difference. Rusted out material. Look at the size of the piping on it, much smaller in diameter than the Kooks stuff. You're using a T304 stainless steel material here. Kooks has our high flow cats, which are much smaller, more compact than the factory ones. And again, you can see it has that OEM connect in all positions there. So we can connect the headers over to the Y pipe, and then obviously to the Corsa catback back here at the OEM style flange. Let's talk a little bit about header diameter and why we went with the 1 7/8 inch headers. Kooks offers 1 3/4, 1 7/8, and 2-inch primary headers. Now on the Coyote Mustangs, ever since they were released, the Coyote motor in 2011, We found out that usually that 1 7/8 inch header is the best all-around fit. Even for like an NA application, it flows real well. You don't have any loss in low-end torque or anything like that. It also gives you the ability, when running that 1 7/8 inch, to upgrade if you go with a supercharger later on down the road. You've obviously got the ability to grow into them. Again, you're not losing anything by going to that 1 7/8 inch from the beginning, but it's just an all-around great fit. Now, for guys out there who are looking to make like gobs of power and really push things, let's say 1,000, 1,100 wheel horsepower, at that point I'd recommend a 2-inch primary, but again, the 1 7/8 inch is all around the best fit for the Coyote motor, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, even Gen 4, and that's why we're using it on the F-150 giveaway truck. This thing is gnarly, bro. There we go.
That's so loud.
Finally quiets down a little bit. It's pretty loud, dude.
Let's push you back.
Oh yeah! Nick just wrapped up the install of the Kooks 1 7/8 inch headers with a Cat and Y pipe connected to that Corsa Extreme. We fired it up. It sounds ridiculous. Good job, Nick, on the install. I think you guys want to hear it, right? Let's take this sucker out, fire it up, get some revs. You guys can be really pleased with how it sounds. Crazy to think that we're doing this all right before a hurricane.
Yeah.
Category 5. Loud once you get on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of tame when you're just cruising, like right now. It's got a nice sound to it. Actually, perfect. 35 mile an hour right now. Quiet, right? It's when you get on it though, it's gonna be nasty.
Yep.
Big shout out to Kooks. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our build, guys. The exhaust is pretty much covered on this truck now. Kooks long tube headers along with the Corsa Performance Extreme catback exhaust sounds mwah. Now it's time for some other mods. Guys, make sure to stay tuned to the entire build. Follow our YouTube channel as we release all the videos on the build, and head on over to lethalperformance.com to pick up your parts, accessories, and merchandise to get your entries to win this truck and the $15,000 in cash. Remember, double entries on all of the brands that are involved in our build, guys. Any questions, reach out to us at 561-753-8105 on the Mustang King, and I'm out of here. Price being a retard today. being her It's like in Predator, bro, remember? Remember Predator? Jesse the Body Ventura? He had a big old mouth of dip and stuff like that. Jesse the mouth of dip, yeah. Yeah, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about. Doing a fairly good job though, Nick. I'm really proud of you.
I took an hour lunch.
For your first day on the job?
Yeah, my first time.
Actually, no. The other day was your first day when you did the course at Catback. But for your second day on the job doing the Kooks headers, I can tell you what, you're doing a good job, man.
My first time really ever holding a tool.
Yeah. We'll do our best to help you out. We got tons of swag in stock. I got this truck, came home with it. My son loved it. My daughter's like, what is this thing? She won't even let me take her to school in this truck. She has no idea how cool these regular cab short beds are, especially with that lethal crossbone on the side now. But she's like embarrassed and won't even let me take her to school in it. So I don't know, man. These kids these days, I don't know. I thought I did a good job raising her and teaching her all this stuff. And although she does want her first car to be a Bronco Raptor, which is definitely not happening because she needs a little humility in her life. But I thought I did a good job to raise her and teach her that these Ford trucks are badass. She just doesn't get it yet. Kids.
You should buy her a single cab short bed for her first.
Yeah. Like a one from like the 70s.
You'll learn to love it.
Yeah. I should go and buy her the same exact car that I had as my first car, which was a 89 Mercury Topaz, maroon colored. And it was down here, so like the whole roof was like totally oxidized, like white and stuff. It still had a tennis ball on the antenna from my grandfather. And the interior was like that maroon, like kind of like felty material, like the cloth. It was pretty embarrassing, but you know what? Hey man, again, humility. I'm gonna go out and buy her a maroon Mercury Topaz.
I don't think there's any of those left on the road.
I don't know, yeah.
So you're gonna have to go to the junkyard.
They're all crushed, dude. Yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, baby, come on, baby, come on. Good job on that, man. Bang that shit out. Get her done. Get her done. Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going?